Imagine a place where the silence is so heavy you can hear your own heartbeat. A place where the nearest neighbor is miles away. Where the only thing separating you from the dark, dense woods is a thin wooden door. Now imagine that someone or something is standing just on the other side of that door, watching you. This is the story of Hinterkaifeck, a farm hidden away in the Bavarian woods. It is 1922, winter. The Gruber family lives quietly. They keep to themselves. They work hard. But their peaceful life is about to be violently torn apart. And it starts with a warning. 6 months before the nightmare begins, the family's maid suddenly packs her bags. She refuses to look anyone in the eye. She's trembling. She tells the farmer, Andreas Gruber, that she has to leave immediately. When he asks her why, her answer sends a chill down his spine. She says she hears voices, whispers in the walls, footsteps in the attic when everyone else is asleep. She tells him the house is haunted. Andreas dismisses it. He is a practical man. He doesn't believe in ghosts. He lets her leave. But he should have listened. Because what was waiting in the shadows of his home was far worse than a ghost.
Months pass. The cold winter sets in. The farm is buried under a thick blanket of snow. A new maid, Maria, arrives. She is desperate for work. She doesn't know why the last maid left, and no one tells her. For a few days, everything seems normal. But then, the signs begin. One morning, Andreas walks outside to inspect the property. The fresh white snow is completely untouched, except for one detail. At the edge of the dark pine forest, Andreas spots something. Footprints. Deep, heavy footprints, pressing into the fresh snow. They lead straight out of the dark woods and head directly toward the farmhouse. Andreas follows them. He expects to see a trail leading away. He walks around the entire house. He checks the road. He checks the barn. Nothing. The footprints lead to the house, but none lead away. Whoever walked out of those woods is still there.
Andreas doesn't tell his family. He doesn't want to cause a panic. He quietly checks the locks. He searches the barn, but he finds no one. He convinces himself it's just a wanderer, someone who passed by in the night. But the strange occurrences only escalate. A few days later, Andreas finds a newspaper sitting on the kitchen table. It's from a city miles away, a city no one in the family has visited. No one knows how it got there. Then, the keys go missing. The house keys, the ones that lock the doors from the inside, vanished. And then, the noises begin. Just like the first maid warned. In the dead of night, when the wind howls against the wooden walls, the family hears it. Thump, thump, thump. Heavy, slow footsteps, coming from the attic directly above their bedrooms. Andreas grabs his rifle. He climbs the creaky wooden stairs to the attic. He pushes the door open. It's pitch black. He holds up his lantern. The light cuts through the dust. Nothing. The attic is completely empty.
but the dust on the floor has been disturbed. Someone has been walking up here. Someone has been living above them, watching them sleep.
It is March 31st, a freezing, overcast night. The new maid, Maria, has just finished her first day of work. She goes to bed, exhausted. The rest of the house is quiet. But outside, in the pitch-black barn, something is waiting. We don't know exactly how it happens. We only know what the evidence tells us. One by one, the killer lures them out. Maybe the animals were restless. Maybe someone heard a noise. Andreas steps out into the freezing night. He walks toward the barn. He opens the heavy wooden doors. He steps into the dark. He never comes back. Then his wife, Kazelia, goes out to look for him. She steps into the dark. She never comes back. Then their daughter, Victoria. Then the 7-year-old granddaughter. One by one, they are swallowed by the darkness of the barn. Waiting inside is the faceless entity that had been living in their home, the phantom of the attic. He strikes with brutal efficiency, no hesitation, no mercy. The farm goes completely silent. But the true horror of Hinterkaifeck. Inside the farmhouse, the new maid, Maria, and the baby, Josef, are still asleep. They are the only ones left. The heavy front door opens. Footsteps enter the house. But it isn't Andreas. The killer walks into the maid's room. Then he walks into the baby's room. Within minutes, the entire bloodline of Hinterkaifeck is wiped out. But the killer doesn't leave. For the next 4 days, the farm sits in eerie silence. To the outside world, everything looks normal. Smoke rises calmly from the chimney. The animals in the barn are fed. The cows are milked. Meals are cooked in the kitchen. Bread is sliced. The killer simply takes over their lives. He sleeps in their beds. He eats at their table. All while the original owners lie dead, just a few feet away in the cold barn. He is a ghost. A shadow that slipped out of the woods, consumed a family, and wore their life like a mask. Days pass. The townspeople finally realize they haven't seen the Grubers. The mail is piling up. The little girl hasn't been to school. A group of neighbors decide to check on the farm. They walk up the snowy path. The house is dead silent. They knock on the door. No answer. They walk to the barn. The doors are slightly open. They pull the heavy wood back. The light from their lanterns floods the floor. They freeze. The bodies are covered carefully with hay, stacked one on top of the other. The police are called. An investigation begins. They tear the farm apart. They search the woods. They interview hundreds of people. But the killer left almost no trace. He didn't take the money hidden in the house. He didn't take valuables. He only took their lives and their home for a few quiet days. To this day, over a century later, the Hinterkaifeck murders remain completely unsolved. The phantom who walked out of the woods simply walked back in and disappeared forever. Next time you hear a creak in your floorboards or a heavy step in your attic, ask yourself, are you truly alone?